broadcasting to viewers in Liberia and across the globe. Hello and welcome to News Today on KMTV. My name is Anthony Kukui. Wherever you're watching us from, we say thanks for joining our news broadcast tonight. Let's take a look at stories making headlines. Liberia's ambassador to the United Nations, D. Mazwe Kimia, stresses the need for an enabling international environment if the Sustainable Development Goals must be achieved. Afanso Sadia calls on the Liberia National Police to dispense justice in the alleged murder of his brother Steve Paul. But what does the Liberia National Police have to say about it? We shall be finding out. We begin the program at the United Nations that's the United Nations Assembly, where Liberia's ambassador to the United Nations, D. Mazwe Kimia, says an enabling international environment for development is required if the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and the 2030 Agenda should be achieved. According to Ambassador Kimia, an enabling environment will facilitate necessary means for the implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals as well as domestic resource mobilization. Ambassador Kimia was speaking recently when he addressed the plenary of the United Nations Economic and Financial Second Committee.
Over the coming weeks, we will be preoccupied with considering various items contained in the committee's program of work. We believe that the thematic items are relevant as they border on issues that are crucial to the achievement of Agenda 2030, our development ambitions, particularly protecting our planet, mitigating the effects of environmental degradation and climate change, ensuring economic growth and social development. The theme for the 74th session embodies a fundamental goal of Agenda 2030 and encapsulates very germane aspirations which constitute vital pillars for sustainable development. Poverty remains a global challenge, negatively impacting the marginalized groups, including women and youth, the most, and the adverse effects of climate change are real and even more unprecedented, with visible consequences, potential to undermine sustainable development. These are among the many reasons the call for inclusive societies must be increasingly echoed, while the pursuit to ensure equitable, quality education and learning opportunities for all should remain heightened. Similarly, the Sustainable Development Goals 2019 report underscores progress made thus far, yet vast challenges remain. These challenges cannot be addressed in isolation. Neither can we accelerate the full implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals without cooperation, forging partnerships, and meaningful dialogues. Liberia believes that the achievement of the Sustainable Development Goals and the 2030 Agenda will depend on an enabling international environment for development, facilitating the necessary means of implementation as well as domestic resource mobilization.
Meanwhile, Ambassador Kimia then reassured the United Nations of Liberia's continuous commitment to support global initiatives with the aim to make the world a happy place.
His Excellency Dr. George Manneh Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia, and the government and people of Liberia extolled the Secretary General for convening the Climate Action Summit to mobilize political and economic support at the highest level to advance climate action that will enable the implementation of many of the goals of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. We also note with commendation the SDG Summit and high-level dialogue on Financing for Development, held under the auspices of the General Assembly to generate consensus and concrete steps toward ways and means of financing the implementation of the Global Development Goals. We must further endeavor to galvanize support to address the diverse needs and challenges faced by developing countries, particularly countries in special situations, including bridging the gaps of financing to facilitate the implementation of the 2030 Agenda, strengthening the productive capacities of their respective economies, and buttressing their national development efforts. Under the astute leadership of His Excellency President Weah, our flagship National Development Plan, the Pro-Po Agenda for Prosperity and Development, seeks to stimulate economic growth, enhance domestic resource mobilization, transparency, accountable public sector for shared prosperity, and an inclusive society for all Liberians and inhabitants. These are fundamental conditions for economic transformation, acceleration, and full implementation of the Sustainable Development Goals.
To this development now, the steering committee chairman of Lofa County, Momo Saros, is calling for more support in order to promote the game in Liberia, that's the football. Speaking Thursday to KMTV